Hello everyone, this is Sophie from the 5th Ray Healing Academy, and this is day 2 of 21-day EFT tapping Q&A. So what is the question? Day 2 is what are the tapping points and tips with some of these points? I'm really excited about that. In the first video, I sort of introduced the tapping points, so let me do it again today. The tapping point, I use 11 points, and we start at the side of the hand. And then it's just gentle tapping. Then there's the top of the head, between the eye point. So between the eyes where the eyebrow starts. Then there's the side of the eye at the corner, not too close that you're starting to blink, but just on the side. And then under the eye, under the nose, the chin point, which is right in the crease. The collarbone point. So if you think about your collarbone, you follow your bone and it's right in the soft section underneath the bone on each side. So basically this is the point and we're gently tap. You could use one hand. Let's say you're driving or you're doing other things and it helps you soothe yourself. And then the next point is under the arm. Basically it's where the bra strap is, or about 4 inches below the armpit. Some people can cross and hug themselves. I go what my kids used to call the monkey pose, both hands on each side. And then there's the liver points that I love. So basically you're following your, let's say your nipple, you go down and you meet your rib right there. And then you could stroke it gently, or you can gently tap. And this is a very good point. We'll talk about it in a second. And then there's the wrist point. This is also one of my favorite points. And then some people tap it gently together. Some people find that aggravating, so you could just gently rub it. Okay, so now let's look at some tips that you could use with those points just by themselves. So the first point is helps really lower sorry, I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure that I'm on target. So tapping on the collarbone point, for example, will help you lower your stress level. It will get you back to feeling calmer and more center, and then you can address like whatever the trigger was. So you just gently breathe and tap on the collarbone point. That's one of my kids' favorite point, is the collarbone point, and many of my clients actually. Another point that's really cool to know about is basically under the eye. This is linked to the stomach meridian in Chinese acupuncture. And then when you tap gently there, many of my clients will report that their feeling of nausea and feeling nauseated or motion sickness, it would actually go away. So they would feel better, their stomach would settle. And so basically you could use it to help your stomach if you feel nauseous, if you have motion sickness, or you just feel off in the stomach. So that's another tip. Another one is the wrist point I was telling you about. So the wrist point is actually, there's 3 different meridians that passes through. There's the long meridian, the heart meridian, and the pericardium meridian. Sorry, French gets noisy sometimes. So pericardium meridian. So there's 3 meridians passing through basically your wrist. So in Chinese acupuncture, this is really good for grief, depression, feeling unsupported and sad or lonely. So you could gently stroke it, or you could just rub them together. You could hold them. So let's say you're going through a rough patch, and then fall now, so it's perfect. Remember like those gloves? I have like 4 pair of those without fingers, and they go a little bit longer. If they're tight here, actually it gives you support because it helps with pressure on the wrists. So that's something else you could do. The last point I was wanting to share is the liver point. So I was telling you about the liver point, which is basically following your nipple, going to the rib. So this liver point is actually linked to anger in Chinese acupuncture. So let's say you're moving through a lot of emotion, and one of those is anger or resentment. You can gently rub this point. You might even notice that it's tender, and it's going to help you move through that emotion with with gentleness and compassion for what you're feeling, helping you process it so you can feel more yourself and at peace. So this is Sophie from the 5th Ray Healing Academy, and I'll be back with day 3. Bye-bye.